The Sunday Sequence Break.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome to episode 138 of the Sunday Sequence Break.
What is that number?
That's 138. I'm going to tell you, and I already prepped it. That's how good I am.
Look at this guy.
You see
Ready to go.
Farfetch there, holding a spring onion. Right?
No.
I know it's a leak, but just pretend it's a spring onion. Well, that's
Okay.
right, because at my local Chinese, 138 is duck, which comes with spring onions. And there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Episode number segue.
Yeah. Thank you very
That's
much.
not bad.
Everyone in chat, spam those segue email. Oh.
Nope.
Shut up.
Well, never
Oh, my
mind.
fucking hard drive failed. What a fucking
Maybe
tragedy.
next time. But intro done. I'm going to do it now. I'm pressing it already. Yeah, DustForce. Fiesel is with us with
Me.
DustForce.
Hello, I'm here.
I normally introduce everyone first, don't I? Yeah, I
Right.
should do that. With us on our DustForce adventure, we have Fiesel.
Hello.
We got Gildesneeze.
Yo.
We have Calistus.
Hello.
There you go. And they're representing DustForce, by the way. If you didn't guess by the fact that they're not normally here. And then we have TheBirdOfPrey as well.
Hello.
He'll be playing the part of DustForce in tonight's presentation. So
Don't be fooled by any old bird of prey. This is the bird of prey.
this is the BirdOfPrey representing
Except
no
for on
substitutes.
Twitch, where I am just
A
a
bird
lonely
of
a BirdOfPrey. Well, you're like, you
Son
know,
of a bitch, I'm confused now.
it's when you leave the nest, isn't it? And you go from being the bird to
Right.
a bird. It's
where I
sad.
stretch my wings.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm gonna. Oh, I've already pressed it. Now I'm gonna ask Fiesel what's he's been up to. What have you been up to, Fiesel, this past
This
little
week.
bit? Yeah.
Oh man, there wasn't too much that went on in terms of speedrunning. I actually had jury duty this week, and so
Oh, cool.
3 days. It was like 3 days of this week. It was
No way.
it was taken up with me doing that. One of the days I just did nothing but read magazines all day, and then the other
Nice.
2 days I had to actually come back and do stuff.
Dude, what was jury duty like?
What's it like?
Yeah.
It's like going to the DMV, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of waiting around.
We don't
and
do
then
the DMV in this
standing in
country.
line.
We just send off a form and we get it back. We don't have to go to the DMV. Yeah.
You could sort of
So-
replace the DMV with a website, but we don't.
Is
do
it like
that here.
waiting for your car to be fixed?
It's like that if there were lots of annoying things, protocols that you had to follow.
Oh, okay.
You know, if there was a lot of that kind of business, then it would be like that.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, anyway, so that took up a bunch of time. And let's see, I don't know. I did a couple random speedrunning things. I actually played Zelda 2 some, and I went through this week. I actually lost both of the Wizards and Warriors records, so I looked a little bit into that again just to see. There's some refinements to the strats that Dark Terex came up with, so I checked those out. I think I should be ready to go back to making attempts to reclaim those this upcoming week.
Nice.
And man, what else? Lots of prep work for SGL. I finally got all of the recent SGL episodes uploaded, and
Nice.
I've been just basically doing programming for that, for the website, and programming for the broadcast.
Lua
and
scripting.
also working
all
on
that fun.
Yeah, well, actually not the Lewis script, the broadcast software. But there, some of that and some programming for the Best of Nest website, just various stuff, lots of behind-the-scenes work, not too much, actual speedrunning.
Yeah, you're going to be more involved in Best of Nets, right? You're going to be helping out a lot.
I'm going to be helping out with that, so
Nice.
hopefully it'll be fun. We're going to have a big announcement this week announcing the games for the next Big 20 race happening this Thursday. We're making the big announcement of the game list.
That's convenient. That doesn't clash with our announcement.
Right. No, yeah. It's going to be Thursday, and we're going to stream it on twitch.tv/bestofness. Stream it on that channel there and, announce everything. Yeah, that's about it. That's my week.
All right, Gildersneeze, apart from the whole hard drive debacle, what have you been doing?
Most of the week.
Well, just
Right.
in case there was anything else.
No, I finally got at least basic streaming up and running last night, or no, 2 nights ago, and been working on Demon Head, of course, sub 20. Still the goal. I do believe Mr. Cab and X-Dragon are going to pick the game up, so I may actually have some competition. Get back. A Demon Head community sprouting.
Ugh.
I know. Who the hell?
Anytime-
Took almost a year and a half.
Year and a half.
But
How
anyway,
impatient.
I put up a run last night, which would have PB'd by 2 seconds, but the random medallion sequence at the end decided that I did not get a run instead. And what a pain in the ass.
Nice.
So it's been one hell of an entertaining week, to say the very least. But
Cool.
should finally have Photoshop, After Effects, all that jazz reinstalled, hopefully this evening.
Nice.
And I'll actually be able to get those emotes done. But that's about it. It's been a frustrating fucking week.
That's all right then.
The end.
Okay, I have my list here. That's the list. This is the same piece of paper from a few weeks ago. So I'm almost filled up on stuff I've done. I've been practicing lightning returns, ready for the relay, or more likely ready to find every literal way of failing. I've come up with some really good ones so far, including thinking I had nowhere near enough money and actually finding out that I wasn't meant to be shopping until about 30 minutes later. That was a good one. The tutorial quest that's meant to be unfailable, not working. That was a good one too. I also did some more Dragon's Crown with Bangera, and I had one of those facepalm moments where the whole internet tells you that the order is random for the level order, and after using the cooking system and thinking heavily about it, I thought I'd come up with a great way of manipulating it, but it turns out actually it goes in order depending on the first stage you pick, so it's not random at all. So anyway, that just means that it's doable. We would have improved our time to something good, but we disconnected twice. 2 runs in a row, but that's fine. Aside from that, ESA stuff, game submission cuts, first round should be out Wednesday-ish. And I think that's it. I want to say that's it. I want to say that's it.
That's all we're giving you.
Wednesday-ish.
Time's up.
Yeah.
Is the first round. When does the second round of cuts begin?
Well, the second round of cuts will begin like almost immediately for us, but it will be probably like a month later. Something like that. But we want to, the idea is to give runners a time to improve their times, like a bit more time to improve. And for people who've submitted a bunch of games to sort of clean up what they've submitted so that they're not trying to practice 5 games at once. Stuff like that.
Right, sounds good.
Alright, more now into our guest, Calistus. Make sure I click your background image. And what have you been up to this past week? It better be about DustForce.
Or else.
Unfortunately, no, it hasn't been about
You
DustForce.
son of a bitch.
Oh no.
This show everybody go home.
I've been trying to sort out which games I'm going to be submitting for SGDQ, and DustForce is one of them, fortunately. So
Nice.
I've been trying to get back into that. I took a bit of a break. I've also been working on 2 other games that I will be submitting, which are Jump Jet Rex, a very new game, which actually isn't finished yet, but we're aiming to have that sorted by maybe today or tomorrow. And then Magnetic by Nature. They are both indie platforming games. That seems to be the only thing I'm capable of speedrunning.
At least you're capable of speedrunning something. Many of us bounce genre to genre, and we're like, there's nothing doable.
You're trying to find your speedrun niche, Flicky? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm trying to find my niche. That's it. I'll get
Nice.
it. I'll
Have
get
other
it.
people submitted DustForce to SGDQ?
We had one for
I do not
ESA.
believe so.
We had someone submit for ESA.
Oh, who was it?
I'm gonna find out. I'm pretty sure we did because I looked up if DX2 was the same game or not, or DX.
It's like a patch. It's just an update.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just.
Yeah. Critical Sid has submitted DustForce.
Oh,
DX.
okay, cool.
There you go.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, these there.
It's not either.
Should we put it on before you so that they cut it at SGDQ because it's going to be at ESA?
I don't think they do that, but
No, they
yeah,
don't.
why not?
All right, is anything else? Just working on the SGDQ submissions then, yeah? Cool. Alrighty, then Bird of Prey. What do you? I'm just going to call you Bird of Prey without an article because I don't want to get it wrong now.
Just Bird is fine.
But okay.
Wonderful. Bird of Prey.
I did some DustForce ILs, moved up 2 ranks in score, so I'm 13th now.
Thanks.
Nice.
And other than that, I've been making the interesting decision of choosing not to submit a game for SGDQ.
Ooh, good one. I'm not submitting one either, but then I'm not going.
So
Are you actually going to go to it and just not play a game there?
I'd hope to go. I went last year and I had a bunch of fun. We'll see if finances and things work out, but
It is
Yeah.
much-
Nice.
The relaxing GDQ experience
It's
where you're
nice,
not
yes.
trying to cram practice for your game.
although I did think of volunteering, I was planning on that, so maybe
That's-
not as relaxed.
It's less relaxing than doing nothing. I can say as someone who's done all three, the doing nothing approach is really good. It's not quite as satisfying, but it's pretty good.
I can't handle doing nothing. I just can't.
Lucky, how dare you show this background, by the way? I'm confused by the use of both definite articles.
Yep.
Oh, it's the definite and indefinite article are both being
That is true. That
used
is
for
one
the same
definite,
one.
one indefinite. You are
Yeah.
correct.
It's
Either
alright.
way.
Just think how confusing it is for any of like the Chinese, Finnish, like Eastern Europeans who don't even really understand articles properly because they don't do them. Yeah, we're gonna do DustForce then. We're gonna talk about
let's do that.
DustForce.
It was time to split, y'all. We're still doing the recap.
I'm pressing it, and I'm gonna click this and play some DustForce. Meanwhile, I'm gonna listen to the DustForce soundtrack while you guys talk about DustForce. So, first question is, because I'm enjoying saying the word DustForce a lot, I'm gonna ask you, and you guys can decide which one gets to do this. What is DustForce? For those of you who don't know what DustForce is, in the audience, which, there's a few of you probably
Could be
thinking,
somebody.
like, that doesn't make sense. Dust force? Is this some kind of physics I'm not familiar with? Instead, we're going to get one of you, I don't mind, to explain what is DustForce, the video game, not the physics thing, which isn't real. But yeah.
Calistus can take this.
Okay.
Right. All right. So, DustForce is a game about ninja janitors who are cleaning up dust while doing parkour-style maneuvers. So, the general idea of the game is that there are some bad guys and they've made the world really dirty, and it's not supposed to be dirty, so the DustForce has come in to clean it up.
Right.
It's a little bit silly, but there is really no story to speak of. The devs have come up with a little bit of something, but I will not go into that because I don't know if it's canon or not. So I know Bird likes talking about the basic mechanics of the game, so if he wants to cover that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
that works too.
Yeah.
Although I would
back,
like
go.
to hear the possibly non-canon story at the end of the game of the week.
I can do that.
All right.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
So is the game set up such in a linear way, or do you choose levels, or like what's the overall structure of the game? I mean, I see that it's a platformer with lots of neat speed techniques. Like for someone who hasn't actually played it, how does it work?
It's linear more when you're first playing the game. As far as doing speedruns, it is quite not linear. There's a lot of different routes you could take in different orders, as well as once you select each level, you could pick between 4 different characters, and that'll change things. So it's very I don't know. Has lots of possibilities.
So the goal is to remove all the dust initially, and then on a later playthrough you can, like, how do you progress?
Right. So there are kind of different 4 like difficulty tiers for each of the levels, and you have to clean all the dust and do so without dying or getting hit or taking too long. And dropping your combo number in the bottom left, and then that'll give you a key, and that unlocks like the next tier higher that's harder, and then that keeps going 4 different times. So yeah, to unlock all the levels you essentially have to clean all the dust on them each time, and that's an SS score.
Yeah, so that's one of the categories, right? Then there's, like, if I get it, once you've done that, you can just sort of speedrun the levels without having to dust everything, right?
Yeah, we run any % on a completed save, New Game Plus, because otherwise it's basically the same category, because it's required by the game to unlock more levels. So yeah.
Yeah,
I see. Makes sense. All right. So maybe can you tell us a little bit about the history of this game? What's the this game hasn't been out all that long, right? Just
it's been like 3 or 4 years, right?
4 years,
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, so the history, I wasn't around for like the first year that it came out, but they were still patching in levels pretty regularly at that point. They started out with just 1 difficult level, and now there's like 8 or 9 or 7 or something. So they kind of steadily added to it, and there wasn't really speedruns for a while. Then closer to when I joined, Markstall got a 3553, which is still the run that's on SDA, actually, that's been verified. We should probably go and update that at some point. But
That's on my to-do list.
oh, nice! I can't wait for that. And he was basically the first and only runner at that time. And then once he got that, the game kind of picked up some steam and added some more runners. There's been lots of different skips and changes and improvements that have been found over the years. Probably the next kind of long-term stood milestone was Luffy's 3325. That was back in February of 2014.
I remember talking about that on the show.
Yeah, he submitted that one.
Yeah.
I believe Calistus at some point got a 3326.
That is correct.
And that was a sad moment. Maybe he can talk more about that further on. I kind of did a lot of consistency runs for my SGDQ run, but I haven't been kind of a world record pace runner for a while.
I see. And yeah, it looks like, I mean, looking at this list that you guys put together here, and it looks like with each of these improvements, you have tricks listed or new techniques that were added that made that run possible. And it's interesting to see that there's just, at each step of the way, there's new tech discovered.
Right. So this is a very skill-intensive game. There's no RNG in it, so that means that every single thing that you do in the game it's all in your control. Some of these tricks are really difficult, and back in the day, some of them were thought to not be viable for putting into a single segment speedrun. But as the players have improved and the routes have improved, the strats have improved, we've found that it is actually possible to put some of these into the run.
Okay, so were these tricks found like on individual level, people working at individual levels, and it's just a matter of, what kind of risk do you want to bear in your, any percent in your single segment run by
Exactly.
what tricks you put in?
Yeah, generally.
All right, this game has in-game time on the individual levels, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I imagine there's a whole community of people around just trying to optimize one level at a time.
The IL community is pretty insanely big.
Yeah.
I would say I know just about every single, I can recognize every single name in about the top 200 for each IL. And we have an online site that categorizes it all, and it's awesome. You guys should go check out dustworth.com if you've ever played DustForce or are interested in the game. And that whole list has like 6,000 people or something on it. It's a lot.
All right. So, okay, let's see. So you had us back to like February of 2014, Luffy at a 33.25, and then Calistus here coming on the scene with a 33.05 in August.
Right. There's a really long story behind that, but to cut that one short, I told somebody at SGDQ that I would be going for world record attempts, not really thinking that I meant it or that it had any significance, but that
It doesn't
really
generally.
got stuck in my head.
It generally doesn't. Oh yeah, I'm going for world record attempts is the equivalent of like, yeah, I'm thinking of picking this game up.
Right, but I don't know what happened, but I just really focused on it. I was practicing individual level strats constantly. Some new strats were found during the time between Luffy's 33.25 and when I decided to go for the attempts, so I was able to put those in and get a bit of an edge on it. However, as you can see on the list, Luffy came in the next day with a 32.41, which is huge.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Right.
Wow.
So sub 33, that was the big one, and he got it first. And I will admit that really did demoralize me a bit, so I didn't come back for it until the DX patch.
Sure, because that's more of an improvement over your run than your improvement was over his previous run. Like, it's just...
Exactly.
And he didn't have 3 different new tricks to find out in between. He just straight up beat him on execution, pretty much.
All right. And then after that came the DX patch.
Correct. So that added 19 new levels. Killed the old tutorial, but now there's 3 tutorials, so kind of evens out. And there's 4 main areas. Each area used to be separate. So you would have the forest, and that had 12 levels, and then you had the city, which had 12 levels, and same for the lab and the mansion. And the DX patch, first of all, it added 4 levels to each of those, so now there's 16. And then it combined them all 4 together into one area, which basically changed the routing. Instead of being levels 1 through 12 for each area, now as 1 through 64 for the whole big, huge area. So that changed up the kind of overworld routing a lot. And in addition to adding the new levels and having to learn those, it was just a huge difference in trying to route that. So while most people were kind of figuring out the new individual levels on kind of individually, separately, I took it upon myself to route all of that pretty much on my own, and did a few runs, got a preliminary route created, and got a decently solid time pretty early on. And some of that route has stayed pretty good, and some of it has gotten completely just trashed, and we've moved on from that, which has dropped the time pretty significantly since then.
Okay. So does everyone now just do DX, or is there's non-DX still a speedrun category for this?
Pretty much everyone just does DX now.
Okay. So other than the additional levels and just the overarching differences, are there actual differences in gameplay on the levels that were there before?
There are.
Okay.
One of the things that was on the list in my 3305 was quad cancels, which is something that I put into the run, which was thought to not be possible in a run. And what that did before the DX patch was you were able to press the jump button, the dash button, the light attack button, and the heavy button on the same frame in order to cancel out of attacks. So that was a really big time saver on some of the levels. Now, in the DX patch, what happened was they condensed that down to where you only need to press the dash and the attack button, because a lot of people had issues on their keyboards with ghosting. So it was creating this hardware difference between a lot of players, which was undesirable.
Right, yeah, some
And-
keyboards, especially the cheap ones, you can't hold any arbitrary combination of keys. There'll be some really strange restrictions on these keys are held down and other ones will get ignored. Yeah, that's a real problem
It's a
with
pain.
4-button combos.
4 is usually
And
about the
also-
limit too, so
And it depends what. Like, they try to pick these keyboard redundancies so that it'll be things that wouldn't normally pop up in day-to-day use of the keyboard. But if you're a gamer and mapping it to arbitrary keys, then, you know, who knows what you're going to run into.
It also created possibly the best speed tech name for a term ever, which was because you're using 4 buttons. The term 4 butts was created.
4 butts.
we had 5 head as well, which was going to be 4 head at one point, and then it needed to be 5, unfortunately. So
Was the
enjoying that.
binocular boost in Dark Souls 2 that somebody renamed the butts technique, if I'm not mistaken. So seems to be a theme in speedrunning. I'll maybe come up with a butt strategy in Demon Head here.
We're a mature community.
You know it. Mature stream for mature adults. It's the
Yeah.
motto of my stream.
But so
Alright, well,
DX brought some tech with it, bought new stages.
Yeah, just looking at the rest
Yeah.
of the records list, looks like Bird got
took a
a
bit.
4619, then Calistus with a 3908
which
after
is
improving.
that's what's playing now. I remember,
that's the one we're seeing.
I remember to add a title to it.
That's good, I never remember.
yeah.
Yeah, but then it looks like Luffy comes back and takes the top time again.
Yeah.
Yep.
This
You've come to expect that. When the DX patch came out and I got my run, the 3908, I got that knowing that it was just a matter of when Luffy felt like coming back and playing the game again.
nice.
Okay.
So I wanted to question though. You have the other categories. I think at marathons generally, like the SS all levels has been run. Is it like? I'm guessing any percent is the more popular one. Is it just those 2 categories that get run, or?
Those are pretty much the 2 main categories. There are some other side categories that a few number of people have run, but not consistently, really.
All right, but your
The
any
main
percent is
issue-
always new game plus any percent, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because
Alright.
it kind of
Correct.
has to be. But
Yeah.
you don't get any. You don't become any more powerful or anything like that. It's just exactly the same. Just
Yep.
right.
It just frees you up in terms of what levels you can, what
Yeah.
what
We
your
don't
objectives
have to
are.
100% them, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically.
So how do they end otherwise? Is it just when you kill all the enemies? It looks like you're killing a bunch of birds.
There's a trigger connected to the enemies at the end of the level, and you only have to kill the enemies that are connected to that trigger. So
Alright.
we learned that by playing the game.
All right, cool.
All right. Well, let's get into some of these techniques because
Yeah.
there are a lot of them.
There's a bunch. I would also like to know, actually, before we do that, the differences. All I can figure out is the old dude can shoot clean dust. What are the differences in the other 3 characters?
I should just say thank you, Flicky, because I knew I would forget something.
Right, it's okay.
Character differences.
Right.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's no problem. It's only because, like,
Yes.
I'm not that familiar with the game, so I would need to know this. And as people who play it all the time, it's quite easy to assume everyone knows. That's no problem. Go for it.
Go for it, Calistus.
Oh, okay. So Dustman is the all-around character. Everything in the game is designed to be completed with him for the
Should
stock
probably
levels.
go colors.
Yeah, blue. He's the blue
Okay,
guy, right?
Dustman's blue one.
Blue is
Blue,
Dustman.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Then Dustgirl, which is the red-orange character. The difference is really slight between Dustgirl and Dustman. What's different about her is that her heavy attack is slightly taller, her light attack is slightly shorter, if I'm not mistaken, and she begins falling a few frames faster. So that's not significant enough to be a difference on a lot of levels, but on some of them, it will be noticeable, and you will lose runs to it occasionally. Dust Kid is the purple character, the short one. A running joke in the community. She's terrible. I'm sorry. She has two jumps in the air as opposed to the single jump in the air as the other characters have. She has much faster attacks, but they are shorter range. she also falls slightly slower than Dustman and Dustgirl. And then Dustworth is the green character. He also falls slightly slower. However, he jumps much higher, and he has much longer range on his attacks, but they are slower.
And an amazing mustache.
Well,
guys-
yeah, he's the Luigi
That
of the
is
bunch,
true.
I guess.
Do you guys
Yes.
call them dustmen in America? Like a dustman in England is the guy who picks up your rubbish in the road?
No, we don't say like dustbin. We say trash can, like
Garbage
Yeah,
man.
trash-
Garbage
yeah,
man,
trash
yeah,
can.
alright.
garbage or trash. Yeah,
Alright.
garbage man.
Alright.
Garbage
So there you go.
Anyway.
We got that done. We remembered to do it. Otherwise, I was going to play the game of try and figure out the differences, and I think I would have only been able to figure out that the old guy has a bigger range.
Right. So
Alright,
who do you use?
yeah.
If you were doing like any percent all levels, new game plus, what would you pick?
That varies per individual level, so if it's a climbing stage, we'll use Dustman, such as a stage that is currently playing on the stream.
Right.
If it's a stage with a lot of slopes where you can gather a lot of speed, then you use Dustman or Dustgirl. It's preference, because since they have a higher max fall speed, that means they can gain more speed on slopes. So you want to use them for those. And
Okay.
then Dust Kid is a comfort, safety kind of pick.
So there aren't any levels where you would pick Dust Kid as your primary choice, unless you want it to be safe.
Right.
Okay.
So the marathon run's going to be old Dust Kid, right?
Donation incentive.
Oh,
What-
goodness.
Oh, that donation to the sun sounds terrible.
Do you want to see the game
Just-
run slower
It's
and
just
worse?
torture for us.
Yeah.
Yes, people have made that mistake in the past to like donate for characters and they get given the worst ones. Yeah, it has happened. So let's get into all this tech then. I think some of it's kind of self-explanatory. So go down this list, giving as much in detail as you feel is necessary for these.
You want to go alternating back and forth here?
Oh, you should. I want you
Oh,
to do
please.
it.
That's good.
If not, you need to.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
So he already explained that each character gets a single in-air jump, except for Dust Kid, who gets two. We call those air charges. You can use them either on a jump or an air dash. And there's an interesting trick you can do where if you press dash and jump on the same frame, you can dash jump, and it basically sets you at dash speed, but you jump and move up. So that's really good if you're trying to change direction, like going from left to right, because you can instantly set yourself to dash speed while you're jumping, instead of kind of slowly jumping over there and then having to dash yourself. And you can only spend one of these in the air, and then every time you kill an enemy, you'll regain it. So you can chain killing enemies in the air to kind of keep chaining them together like that.
Nice. All right.
Cool.
To tag on to that, the enemies have a certain amount of health per se. So light attacks will do 1 damage technically, and heavy attacks will do 3 damage also technically. So depending on what kind of enemy you're facing, you might need to make certain combinations of attacks in order to get that air charge back and keep moving. And then moving on to spike jumping, this is the big one. So there are a lot of spikes in the game. On the early levels, you won't really run into them, but on the later levels, you pretty much won't see any surface except for spikes. On 45-degree angled slopes that have spikes on them, if you expend your air charge, either with a jump or a dash, and then as you fall onto the 45-degree slope with spikes on it, and you hold down and jump, you will be able to jump off of that surface even though it has spikes on it. So
Oh.
this leads to a lot of really interesting skips over places that you weren't really intended to move over. The devs did not know about this when they made the game, as far as I'm aware, but since it is such a cool speed tech, they decided to leave it in.
Oh, cool.
That's good of them. Good guy devs.
Is there any point I can show this in this run? Do you know? Oh, you just ran past a 45-degree spike. I was like, there, no.
It's not used all the time.
Yeah.
Like generally, it's not really needed unless you're trying to do a skip kind of thing.
Okay.
That's all right. Well, I'm sure the
Hideout
people
should
can.
be coming up pretty soon.
Okay.
We'll
Keep
point
it.
Yeah, hideout's a good one.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for it then, viewers. All right, next one is slope boosting. I've seen this a
Slope
bunch,
boosting.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Just
is
right there.
the other big one. This lets you move really, really fast. We mentioned it's based on your falling speed of the character, so some characters get a better slope boost than others. And you essentially fall onto a slope and then start dashing at a really specific rhythm. It's about 4.5 times a second, or once every 12 frames or so. And doing that essentially always keeps you in the dash animation, and that locks your speed. And when you fall onto a slope and then slide on it, you transfer that huge falling speed kind of into like sliding speed on the slope. And then by continuing to dash when it levels out, you just transfer it all into horizontal speed. And this lets you move like 3 times faster than normal. It's super huge and just makes the game fast.
All right.
I've seen it a bunch.
Yeah,
You should be able to spot it quite easily watching the clips.
That is the really big one that a lot of people enjoy about this game, is just getting that huge speed and then maintaining it. The next on the list is ground boosting. This is the one that people do not enjoy or they have trouble with. I'm not really sure about the tile height specifics of it, but the concept behind ground boosting is that when you fall onto the ground, you will slide a little bit at a higher speed than you would normally be able to move. So what you do is, on a flat surface, you jump into the air up to a certain height, and then you dash downwards. And as soon as you get that speed boost from falling onto the ground, you begin dashing in a specific rhythm. It's the same rhythm as slope boosting, and you're able to keep that slight speed boost, and that can make a big difference in some levels.
So I'm just
Yeah, the
watching
speed is
the
about-
stages have become literally, that one was all spikes.
Yes.
And ground boost speed is nowhere near as good. It's about 50% faster than normal. But you obviously don't need a slope to do it, so it's
Right.
generally used, either you're going to be in a slope boost or you're going to be in a ground boost if you're on the ground generally, or you try to at least.
Does
Heavy
killing
cancel.
a dust pile reset your jump, or are you...
Yes.
Okay, right.
Well, the dust blocks.
Yeah,
they
the
do not.
blocks. Oh,
Oh, the tiles, no.
I mean
Right, you
the
maintain
ones in
your
the
height
air.
when you kill them.
Ah,
Right, you keep your height, but you do not regain a jump.
okay.
Right. Okay, so heavy canceling. So he mentioned there's light attacks and heavy attacks. Heavy attacks do 3 damage, light attacks do 1 damage. And as you would expect, light attacks are faster and heavy attacks are slower. You can heavy attack and then use a dash or a jump, and that will cancel the cooldown at the end of a heavy attack. And this essentially lets you heavy attack twice as fast, which it instantly kills enemies that have 3 or less health, which is really useful. And it's really good for comboing enemies that have more than 3 health, which is basically everything else. Generally, everything has a multiple of 3 if it doesn't have 1. There are wolves, and the big gargoyles have 5. But again, you only really need to be killing enemies to get air charges or to finish the level. So there's not a whole lot of time that you'll be doing light attacks. Heavy attacks are just generally really good. If you're heavy canceling optimally, they're just straight up more damage output than light attacks for every single character except Dust Kid. So due to her not being used, they're just generally always the best.
Nice.
Wolves, that's the other one.
I think you said wolves, didn't you?
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, next one.
Yeah, the supers.
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 We're dropping tech knowledge
So-
heavily here.
There is so much in this game. In the bottom left, you will see there's the combo meter and a bar that fills up. So the combo meter can go infinitely high. However, once you get to 100 collected dust in a level, you will see the meter start to glow and that means that you have a super attack ready. What the super attack does is it defeats all enemies in the radius of the super, which is not really clearly defined. You have to get a feel for that. It will also clear dust off of surfaces that are within line of sight. So if there's a wall with dust on the other side, the super will not clear that. That's not really relevant for any percent, but it is something that can confuse people.
So, if you get... Is it every 100 once it's used? Or is it just you only get it once per level?
It's every 100.
It's every 100.
Oh, okay, right. Cool. That stage we got to it on was a really good stage for talking about it too, because you filled up the bar like immediately, and when you stopped talking about it, it gave you an example of everything you had just said.
Right.
Perfect timing.
I do not see it on the list, so I'll mention it. The super does give you an air charge as if you had defeated an enemy, regardless of whether or not an enemy is hit by the super. So there, I think, is only one stage in the game where maybe two, where we make use of that.
I know Cliffside Caves does it for sure.
Cliffside does, and Yada does as well, depending on what strat you use.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also, if you get hit by enemies, this is more relevant to SS, where you will drop your combo if you're hit by an enemy. But in any percent, when you're hit by an enemy, you gain meter, and that means that you can use a super attack sooner, much sooner than collecting dust. So there's a level coming up shortly where we abuse that by getting hit by enemies repeatedly in order to complete the level in about 11 seconds instead of, doing it normally, which would take maybe 14.
I did enjoy a level I saw a while back where you just fell down and killed an enemy and you were done immediately.
Some levels are really fast.
Yeah, that was a good 15-20 minutes ago, I think.
Yeah.
Something else to mention with supers is there are a few times where you can get to the end of the level and using the fastest, just straight up point A to point B route to the end, you won't have enough dust for a super. But supers are pretty fast at killing enemies compared to like heavy attacks. So there are a couple times where we'll go slightly out of our way to collect the 100 dust so that we have a super for the end, so that we can kind of just not deal with the enemies and just quick kill them.
Oh, so that adds a bunch of routing to it as well.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
pretty cool.
You have to route the dust collection. So you mentioned the character differences. These are character choice. So because each level has its own fastest IL character, but they're all interconnected in an overworld, the movement through the overworld is done with the previous level's character. So there's some times where you'll use a worse IL character to have better overworld movement. The main one I can think of is actually one of the only times we use Dust Kid in the run now, which is at Ancient Garden. And she's only maybe about half a second slower on the level, but she saves probably 5 seconds, I would say, at getting to Night Temple, which is the next level, because of her extra air charge, which
That's really
is actually kind of neat.
That's really... I don't think I've ever heard of something like that happening before.
So she's now used, even though she's slower in the individual level, she saves so much time in the overworld that she's actually used.
Right, so the only downside is the people who come in your chat and are like, why are you using Dust Kid for this level? Don't you know that it's slower?
That does happen, so yes.
Hey, let me tell you how to speedrun this game. I know you've been doing this for a while, but I got this.
Right.
Alright, that kind of is the next point too you got. But it leads nicely.
Yes.
It's almost like you planned this.
It's almost like I wrote my own notes. Yeah, I guess I did kind of cover that both at once, I guess. You can just skip the ledge cancels. Cool.
Yeah,
unless you have something else to discuss.
No, you pretty much covered it. So ledge cancels, when you're climbing over a ledge, there will be a short period of time where you float over the ledge before you fall onto it and can keep moving again. So the fastest way to get around that is to down dash immediately after you go over the ledge, and this can save maybe a tenth to a quarter of a second, depending on how well you do it. And that adds up really quickly over the course of a run, and it's extremely important in the individual levels, as you might expect. Another way that you can cancel over a ledge is if you have your air charge, you can dash immediately when you reach a ledge, and it will pop you over, and you'll be able to keep moving immediately.
Cool. Sorry, I was just making sure I didn't break something, which is a frequent occurrence when I'm hosting this. That is the me making sure I didn't break anything, not the thing breaking. That happens too, but not so much. Alright. Oh, cool. Next one.
Alright.
Ceiling?
Ledge jumps.
Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Never mind.
jumps.
Never mind. Sorry,
Ledge
I was so
jumps.
intrigued by the next one. Go for it.
So these are possibly
Easy
the most
killer.
subtle advanced kind of trick mechanic thing, I would say. And they're really weird. We didn't find them out for a long time. Let me scroll up here a little bit. Calistus' 3305 in August of 2014 is actually the first run that utilized them. Basically, the jump has a few frames of startup before you leave the ground, and over those frames, you'll slow down a little bit. It's maybe like 10% or something, so that once you leave the ground, you're only moving at 90% of your run speed or something. And there's an interesting quirk where if you initiate the jump and then reach the end of a platform and you're about to run off into midair, as soon as you reach the end, it'll just jump immediately. Almost like Ocarina of Time, where you just reach the end of something and it just automatically jumps. And it'll do that no matter how many startup frames have happened. So because your startup frames slow your speed, you essentially try to jump at the last possible frame before you leave the ledge. And you can also jump in the air and then kind of land just on the edge to buffer it. And this keeps a so subtle, insignificant thing that you wouldn't even think it matters. It keeps 6% more speed once you are in the air.
That's perfect, dude. That doesn't seem
And
insignificant
that
at
makes
all.
the difference in multiple places between whether you can make a jump or whether you miss a jump. And so, here, right there, perfect timing. At the start of Kilo difficult, you can get over those spikes by buffering a ledge jump
I'm gonna
and
try
skipping
and go
the beginning
back
of the
to
level.
it. Where are we? Okay, yeah.
And so that was a very interesting thing to come across and then try to figure out
Let
and
someone else
incorporate.
route for you? Is that what you're going to say?
Generally, the routing isn't too big of a deal, but it's generally kind of interesting to just get used to being, oh, okay, well, now I have to do this weird thing here. So, yeah.
That sounds... Oh, hey!
It's ledge jumping.
It's Dusk Kid.
Oh, she's used on this level as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because-
This is a big one, yeah.
Her second air charge makes that trick not as annoying to do,
Right.
but it's still...
Do we want to go over that now, as long as it came up, or?
Nah,
save
don't
it?
worry about it.
We'll get to it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're almost done with all the
So-
techniques on this section here, so... This one I wanted to... I
ceiling
couldn't... I need to figure out how this makes sense. Ceiling boost.
Right. So certain walls will turn into 45-degree ceilings at the top of them, and if you jump at the corner where the wall and the 45-degree ceiling meet, you will get a really big boost up that ceiling into the ceiling slide. So there are a few places where this can be the difference between getting a ground boost following the ceiling or, you know, getting through a certain section significantly faster. Sort of related, but not quite, is that if you grab a ceiling that where you would normally be unable to ground boost, you will gain a little bit of speed by grabbing the ceiling, and that will be the difference between being able to ground boost or not.
I'm just trying to figure out this stage. Don't worry.
There's a lot of weird ones.
Yeah.
We don't exactly play many of them the intended way.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so we mentioned how levels end when you kill all the enemies that are attached to the end trigger. What happens after that is a slowdown period will happen, and the game kind of goes into slow-mo. And then normally after that, a score screen will pop up after about 9.5 seconds, and that's really slow. So you can just exit through the menu, and that takes maybe 1 second, and just move on to the next level. And so that saves 8.5 seconds every single time.
Nice.
And so
There's some dude out there not doing that, and he's like, how do I get this time?
I certainly hope not, because it's really easy to do.
Some dude with like a 41-minute time that's crushed the runs
he's just
everywhere else,
almost
and he's just like,
so
I
close to
don't get
working.
it.
It's like the human task. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then final one before we get into some specific. There you go. That was it. Yeah.
All right, the arena level strat choice. Okay, well, without going to the videos, I'll just be brief about it. There are 4 different arena levels in the game. There's one per zone, so there's one in the forest, one in the city, one in the lab, one in the mansion. In Wild Den, which is the forest arena level, there are so many variations of this strat that you can use on it that it's pretty much player preference. So if you're good at one strat but not the other, even though the one you use is not optimal, it will always be better for you to use the one you're good at. So, for example, I believe Luffy in the newest world record uses a DustForce strat, which is the IL strat. He's incredibly good at it. I don't understand it. But in my run, I use a strat with Dustman, which I sort of modified to fit into the run and be consistent for myself. And there are some players that use Dust Kid for Wild Den, so unfortunately Dust Kid appears in some other runners' runs.
What is this stage as well? Like, this is
the final level, and probably the most broken.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we have some notes for that one.
Yeah,
We'll
no
go
problem.
over that one
Don't worry,
3 separate times at least.
I'm just admiring it. Okay, you guys, we got some specifics for glitches, tricks, and then if we have enough time, there's some more. So I'm gonna do my best to try and keep up with these. Do you mind if I do them in the order of time? So,
That is perfectly fine.
okay, good. Right, let's move that there, and my music stopped, so let me get that again. Okay.
While you find those, I'll just begin explaining.
Yeah,
Yes.
go for it.
So, there are a very, very, very rare and few set of circumstances where the geometry of a level will allow you to clip into the walls. Oh, I was like really excited that it lined up perfectly, and then I realized you just timed it.
Sure, yeah, no, I timed it.
Yeah.
Right on these.
And so these essentially let you just fall through the level, through the walls, and either straight through a wall or straight through a floor, and skip a lot of parts of levels. They're done in 3. Well, I didn't list one. That's a mistake. They're done in 4 levels that I know of. Landfill goes through. Grass Cave is one of the more interesting ones. You have to jump, I think, 7 times in the corner, and on the 7th time you'll clip through. I don't know why it takes 7, it just does. And that'll let you fall through the floor down to the end. Core Temple, this was actually probably the first big skip that I found when I joined the community. You clip twice in a row and skip a whole big section to the right, back up to the end, and that saves about like 12 seconds or something on the IL. And yeah, they're pretty rare, but when we've found they're useful, they generally save a whole bunch of time.
I think I might have messed up this last one.
The level's about 30 seconds long, so
Okay.
you should see it here in 5-10 seconds.
That's good. Oh yeah, there you go. Alright,
Yeah.
we got it. Okay, next one we got Terra Drop. Drops, I guess. These are just different drops, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Named after Terra. Go ahead.
Yeah, Terra Difficult is the level that it was discovered in, I believe. There are some blocks with spikes on them placed next to a wall, and there's a small gap between them. Ordinarily, you wouldn't think you would be able to pass through them, but you can. There's about 2 pixels where you can fall straight between the wall and the spikes.
Oh, that was cool.
So as you, yeah, I got it first try, which does not happen every single time. But we used DustKid on this level in order to help set it up better, because you can use your extra jump in the air to line it up. And then this occurs again in Yada Difficult, which is the final level of the game, where there's a section inspired by Terra Difficult, and it has the same setup, and you can fall between the spikes.
Yeah, this is the one I caught the first time. It's pretty ridiculous. Looks really cool as well.
It's probably the closest thing to RNG in the game. That's basically true. Yeah, 3 pixels at 1080p is not a whole lot of room to try and line up.
We have found setups for them, though. They're a little bit sketchy. You can still fail them quite a bit.
They're as close to setups as you can get.
Yeah.
So, Gordon skip. This is right after the Terra drop in Yada here, so...
I'll keep going then. Nice.
You jump on some 45-degree blocks, and then you clip up through the floor, which is the other clip.
Yep.
And then there are a set of spikes on the right that you can die and take you to a secret in the level, which has Gordon Freeman from the Half-Life. And then you can death warp from the secret that has Gordon Freeman up to a checkpoint, and that skips the weird...
Oh, is this Gordon Freeman here?
Tunnel thing. Well, there was a skip found at some point where you can ceiling boost in a 1-tile like ceiling in the corner, and it lets you skip the Gordon checkpoint, so you don't have to death warp, and you can go straight up towards the next section and set up for the blind drop, which is later in the level.
Congratulations, you are a true master. Nice. All right. Spike stand.
How many Half-Life 3 confirmed jokes do you get per run? Just curious.
Sorry?
I said, how many Half-Life 3 confirmed jokes do you get per run whenever you see Gordon Freeman? Just curious.
Oh, Gordon Freeman.
Well, we skip him now.
Fantastic.
We don't
You
see him.
saved the internet.
I
love you all.
That's the brilliance of the skip, is you skip the Half-Life 3 jokes.
Nice.
You're doing a very fine thing. You're cleaning up the internet, which is very appropriate for the title of the game.
Yes.
All right, we got spike standing now, which I hope is what I think it's going to be.
It is exactly what it sounds like.
Nice.
There's a spot on the corner of a block with spikes on it where you can stand on it. In Concrete Temple, they're slightly angled differently, so they're just not. It's not a straight line of blocks and spikes on them, which means that you have a larger area of ground that you can land on. It goes up from something like 1 pixel to 7 or something. So I mean, it's still not
5,
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
5. Oh yeah. Well, it's significantly better than a single pixel.
Then 1.
No. So I got that first try on the run. Again, something that doesn't always happen. But yeah, that lets you skip one of the checkpoints in this level.
Nice. That must have been really annoying for... Thank you. I pressed pause. Must be really annoying for the guy who, the first time he hit a spike, landed on that gap and was like, I guess spikes don't kill you. Alright, death warps then. We got a few of these, and I'll do my best to get to them.
Yeah, there are a few checkpoints that are... The trigger area for the checkpoint kind of extends where it probably shouldn't. And you can die and then hit the checkpoint kind of early or out of order, and then warp to where the checkpoint spawns you. In Moon Temple, which is the first one you're going to see, we have to go hit one checkpoint first so that the level doesn't immediately reset when we die. And then we will fall down, hit a death zone, and kill ourselves. And then our dead body will activate a checkpoint through the wall and teleport us through the wall when we respawn.
I'll
Wow,
show
nice.
that again because I think people might have missed that.
And it is your dead body hitting the checkpoint because the death zone is above the checkpoint trigger for sure. Which is pretty great.
Nice. All right.
There used to be actually a pretty cool skip where you went over top of this level and kind of jumped over the top and down to the end. It's kind of hard to time your dash to get the death warp, and if you die and don't get it once, the old strat evens out, so you can kind of do the old strat as a more consistent middle of the road option. But generally most people go for the death warp now, I think.
Right, so these were death warps earlier. Like, I couldn't figure out how this game was meant to be working. But they're
Yep,
death warps,
so-
right? Okay.
Powder difficult, this red level, you face plant into the side of a block, and then the checkpoint spawns you on top of it. It's pretty nice. Yada difficult, at the very start, you spiked wall jump off of a block, and then have to dash jump in midair to get over a pillar that's off the top of the screen. Then you go off the top of the screen, and then you fall, and you have to position yourself to hit the very bottom corner of the wall, and that'll activate the checkpoint through the wall so that when you die you spawn on the other side of the wall.
I'm so glad you're explaining that these are death warps because I could not figure out what this level structure was before. I just couldn't get it. So is he hitting a teleporter point or something like that? Doesn't seem to be any there. All right. We got slopes now. All right.
Zeta slopes.
Those slopes.
Zeta slopes, yes. The way these work is you get your speed transferred from a slope boost into the ceiling slide if you hold up after you hit the slope. So the devs made a whole level based around that, which is Zeta difficult, which is why we call them Zeta slopes. So as you can see here, this entire first part of the level is just one long ceiling slide.
So
They kind of shoot you up at an angle like a cannon almost.
So you're jumping off all those spikes, or are you just gliding along the ceiling?
He's gliding along the
Just
ceiling.
ceiling.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Although he's hitting a lot of spikes.
Unfortunately,
in this
yes.
run. This is not the
I
best
lose a lot
Zeta
of time
on this
difficult
level.
you've ever done.
I didn't want to point it out. Like, I just assumed,
Well.
you know, like I couldn't do it.
Things happen. These levels are really, really hard. I think we should mention.
Yeah, they look ridiculous.
Yada difficult, there's only about 250 people that have ever beaten it, and only about 67 that have SS on it. And, you know, the game's been out for like 3 years now, so people have certainly had their time to get in their attempts. So these levels are really, really, really hard. So deaths are not uncommon.
All right. Okay. Next one. Quills. Quills are different from spikes, I'm imagining.
Quills are different from spikes.
Okay.
So in the arena level in Forest, which is Wild Den, the arena levels you basically have to kill every enemy in the level instead of just a few at the end. And there are porcupines in this level which shoot a kind of 3 spread attack porcupine quills into the air. You can attack these and deflect them into enemies, and if you deflect them into an enemy, it instantly kills them. So the strats on that level are insane. Basically just being a quill sniper with a whole bunch of spines. Wild Den is probably the most strat diverse level because of that. There's at least 4 different strats that I know of that hit different enemies with different quills in different orders, and they're all essentially on a different, you know, pathing timer. So if you mess it up, you can lose time and get hit and have a bad time. But when it works out, it's really cool and really smooth.
All right. And then you mentioned this a bit earlier, but we got clips for it now. So getting hit for super stuff, which actually I don't even need to click anything because it's the next stage. Whew. Good job, guys. Good job.
I don't have to work too hard for it.
I definitely planned that.
You and me both. That's good. We're a good team.
You looking for a job?
So In this level, you do not collect enough dust going through it to have a super at the end. And these enemies have a lot of health. They have the most in the game at 12, which means they would take 4 heavy attacks each to kill. That is slow, so instead we get hit by them as much as possible at the end in order to charge up the super really fast.
Yeah. I didn't
Doesn't
realize
like
they
to
were
do
enemies at first. I thought they were boxes.
Super well in this run. He kind of, the totem jukes him and jumps left for some reason at the end.
Yeah, this was unfortunate.
Each hit from an enemy will charge up 5 dust like worth of meter. And these totems, they just jump straight up in the air and then slam back down. So if you position yourself straight under them, they hit you like 5 or 6 times as they're falling down, so you can get 25, 30, 40 dust off of each jump. So you can collect a little bit of dust at the beginning and then just charge up like 40 at the end and suddenly have a super out of nowhere, and your meter charges up really fast.
I just realized there's another one of these. I was too busy watching.
Yeah, there's another level, containment. These guys shoot like a wave sideways, and that also hits you a bunch of times. I'm kind of waiting for it to get there.
Yeah, it's getting there now. Oh, I see, yeah. Nice, there you go.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet. We had a bunch of other stuff, but are there any of these last ones that you would want to show off, like any 2 or 3 in particular? If not, we can just go wrap it up.
Caverns and ruins are pretty good ones.
Okay, let's go to ruins first, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
So this is another level where we'll collect the super for the end. And at the very beginning, there's a set of dust blocks on the floor that you can just straight up fall through and skip a really big chunk of the level at the beginning. That basically cuts this level in half, almost. And the camera doesn't really like it when you do that, so you go off screen for a bit, but you come back.
Wasn't that a bunch off-screen stuff, or really at the edge of the screen? Happens a few times.
Yeah, the camera doesn't really like you going where you're not supposed to.
Cameras are like that, yeah. Alright, and then this is Caverns, the other one.
You can explain caverns. Let's just...
Alright, so caverns, you start off the level falling. So what you can do is you can immediately dash left and get onto that little ledge there, and then you can go over the top of the level. Now, this turns out to be about the same as a very optimized route through the bottom of the level, but it is just a lot cooler, and you use DustForce in a lot of dimension anyway, so it works out picking him for this level.
Nice. Alright. Cool. Right, you added here 5 easy steps for learning, which I am going to assume is a testament to how tough this game seems to get. So, go for it.
And partially, there's a lot of people that try to learn and play the game, so there's actually a lot of
advice,
good resources available to try and learn.
That's rare. That's really rare. Okay, go for it then.
So the first one is Pontifex's advanced tutorial. That just goes over kind of like dash jumps and slope boosting and things that we talked about. But it's really well done and helpful for new players.
Yeah. I can link that in the chat actually.
Chat is absolutely good.
And Bird, if you want to cover all of these.
Shorts.
Oh, sure, I can just do more.
Because you
Can
put
you
this list
copy
together, so...
That's true.
You
I
did
did. Did all the work, dude. Where's my things?
Oh, goodness.
Okay. So there's also dustworth.com and dustworth.com/rankings, which has the IL rankings for score, time, and combined. And that is all the IL times kind of ranked together. Each one is given points based on your rank. And as you can see, Luffy is both the best IL runner and the best full game runner. He's just kind of
Greedy.
the best at this game. If you also, on the regular dustworth.com site, you can go to any level, search anyone's username on the leaderboards. You can see their time, their rank, what character they used. You can even click the little camera button, and if you have DustForce as a game installed, you can watch their replay straight in the game.
That's pretty cool.
So those are super helpful that you can get in-game world record IL replays.
Nice.
Then we have this any percent tutorial video I made, and that also explains all the tricks and stuff and more of kind of the technical why they work than necessarily how to do them in like the beginning. And I also go over a lot of the ILs really slowly, piece by piece, for those trying to learn the game from scratch.
Dude, you got a lot of stuff. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Normally it's like 3 pieces of vague advice. Because like,
Right, and the first one is like play the game a bunch.
Yeah, exactly.
The second one is routes.
Playing the game a bunch should really be a step. That's
Yeah. Well, it's too late now. It's not one.
Right, you have lots of
So
those.
just
go.
pick up the game immediately.
Yep.
What we're confirming for you, the audience, is that just with
We'll
these
see you in
resources,
about a year from now.
with
when you're-
these resources, you can straight get world record. Like you don't even need to play the game.
So we've got Atlas, which is the custom maps site. So there's a level editor and custom maps, and a lot of them are made by top veteran players. So a lot of them are very good at taking advantage and kind of teaching the advanced techniques. And there's also just a lot of competition between players there. And they also have, replays and things like that. So if you're looking for some less refined levels that already haven't been played thousands of times, and you want to maybe try routing a level or something, playing custom maps is a good way to do that.
Nice. And last one.
Final one. So I made a YouTube video kind of parodying the famous How Fast is Melee from Smash Bros. That goes over kind of what goes into an IL world record in DustForce and the input execution requirements and stuff like that, which is not really something super useful for learning, but is pretty cool to watch. So
I just have one quick question with that. Do you guys play pad or keyboard?
I play keyboard. I believe Calistus also plays keyboard, but Luffy plays on a PS3 or a PS4 controller. Or no, he plays on an Xbox 360 controller.
Oh, okay.
It's varied.
He
It's
has
just
used
preference.
all 3. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Wow.
There's no advantage. It's complete up to comfort.
That's cool. Alrighty. Sweet. Yeah, that's DustForce. Go follow these guys on Twitch. There's the Bird of Prey Twitch there, and Calistus there. You got tons of links. If any of you, want to find out stuff, you got loads already there. It's all good. And we're gonna go into records. Are you guys gonna stick around for records? You're free to go if you wish.
I will stick around.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure. All right.
Okay, cool.
Gonna hit that, and I'm gonna make sure.
Another couple of suckers. I mean, volunteers.
I'm gonna go for it now because it's expected from me. Now that that's done and dusted, haha, we'll do our records section. We're gonna yell at you if you don't say anything for a bit. We'll give you a record to read. If you know any of these games that have come up, feel free to just butt in and say something. Don't worry, we'll we'll be very happy for you to do so. And we're gonna kick off. Fiesel, as it seems to be tradition now, you're going to take the first record.
I get the first record.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, the first thing we got here is a game called Ether. This is for the PC. The any percent run is in 7 minutes 4 seconds by D&D Alex. He says, not really an optimal run, as this was my 5th real attempt. I think I'm the only runner of this game. The only other run I found was 15 minutes, and I beat that on my first attempt. I hope somebody comes along and challenges it.
This is like Ether, aka Stoner Moons, the game. So I can't help but think they're just a bunch of moons that are really high.
Really? It looks to me like the Bible thump faces.
Yeah, it does, but just a bunch of the moons are just like, yeah, what's up? And some are angry and stuff. Right. I don't know really what's going on, I'll admit.
No, I mean, I get that it's a grappling hook mechanic, and that's about it. And it's just a really odd-looking game. This looks really fun, though. I mean, any game with the grappling hook is great.
Oh, yeah.
So
I literally cannot think of one.
Certainly not biased.
I'm gonna guess this must have something to do with Binding of Isaac and the Bible.
Because that really looks like
those are the exact faces.
The same guy who made Binding of Isaac.
There you go.
Right. Either it is or there's a lawsuit coming because it's clearly the same art.
Dude, you don't earn 2 circles and a mouth, you know, like.
Right.
Yeah, I said, really don't know what's going on, but cool. You're swinging around.
Swinging around, really weird looking, trippy moons and things.
This guy has a hat, I think, and he's holding
He just smashed a planetoid.
Nice. Alright,
Okay.
yeah, we got Binding Commando, which I intended to give to PJ.
Yeah.
And this is a double on the grappling hook game, so this is quite a long
You gotta
one.
switch over to records background.
Oh,
This is a
dude, I didn't.
fantastic,
Thank you. Alright, yeah,
broken game.
Gilda, go for it.
Sure, it's a Binding Commando Rearmed 2 on the 360, 100% in 1:30:22 by our very own PJ, who's not here tonight. He says, this is a super broken game. As usual, he starts off with an understatement. I grabbed the bazooka through a wall in the first level, which lets me skip a lot of revisits. That weapon is normally acquired in like stage 16 or something. Anyway, this run was pretty good. I had a few really bad stages with some slow clips or bad RNG, but mainly the levels were, or many of the levels were near perfect with my current strats. Time can still come down a few minutes with perfect RNG and first try clips, and even more if I find a way to skip the other revisits. I mostly just did this to serve as an SGDQ video. Setting this aside for now, but I'll definitely return to it later. And yeah, this game is absolutely busted. Last SGDQ, PJ and I were messing around with it, and he found a way to clip through the floor in about, I don't know, 3.5 minutes or so.
He's literally
On the
clipping
very
through the
first barrel in the
floor
game.
right now, so that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. You basically, if there's a barrel on the ground in front of you, you can duck, fire your arms straight out, and then as soon as you hit the barrel, like tap down and swing again, and it'll drop you through the floor, and you'll be swinging on the other side of the barrel. It's stupidly easy. I mean, the timing's pretty quick, but
I couldn't figure out what some of these highlights were meant to mean, so I put them in anyway. I was like, that's alright, PJ will be here to talk about it. And, you know, it's not. So, it's not, that's right, it.
It's not the case that the thing that you thought was going to happen happened.
I was going to say it's not here, as in PJ is the it.
I was trying to save you from having to do
It's
that.
alright. He's not here. He'll never know.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Anyway, there's a good solid minute left of highlight clip for the sole reason that I thought PJ would be here to explain it. So we're going to sit and watch it.
It's a cool game. I only played the demo, I believe.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was this close to the original in style. I thought it was. I confused this with the really 3D one.
Yeah, no, right. See, the original Rearmed was really trying to copy the original Bionic Commando. You know, the level layouts were basically the same, and this one is just sort of now going out on its own and, you know, designing their own levels.
yeah.
And actually, apparently, makes it better, from what I'm told. So.
I found out
guess
while
this
making this video, as you can tell now, that you can make fades really long.
Oh yeah, that's a really long thing.
It's just getting dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, you
thought it was on my end.
Yeah, I thought it was like,
Nope.
like you needed flares or something. Like he skipped the candle.
Nope, that's it. I just was like, hey, how long could you make a fade? And I was like, dude.
Got to make a Beach Boy style.
The beginning of the freaking video.
Yeah,
Right.
you can technically fade from the verse frame, but I couldn't be bothered to like do what had to be done to make that work. So, all right, next up we have Blast Core. I got it right.
Right.
Yeah. This is
So-
oh, go for it. Fiesel. Go.
Okay, well, I mean, I happen to have watched the tutorial, so that's
good
like
for
I
it.
know about 2 minutes worth of information on this game because that's
Good
how long
for
the
it.
tutorial was.
Nice.
But basically, Graviton made this cool video that explains the setup for this trick. So this blast core 100% run in 133.26 on by Graviton, and he says, thanks to the setup I found, I no longer have to pray for the once-in-a-lifetime miracle glitch to happen on accident in the credits. So improving my time is now as simple as executing a better run. Sub 33 is my short-term goal. So there was a credit warp glitch, or a credit glitch that he got by accident, I guess, in one of his earlier runs, and he's since then, according to his the write-up on this, he'd spent like 75 hours, going through memory values and like trying to figure out exactly what was happening. But then he put together this video that explains the explanation.
Nice.
But it basically has to do with letting the demo play and up to exactly the right point so that it writes a certain set of values into memory that then get used to make this glitch happen. But ends up saving, I think he said 65 seconds or something.
Dude, that's nice.
Overall. So yeah, really cool.
So I can't believe this game's still getting played. Like, not that this is bad or anything, it's just that if you told me like 3 years ago, blast cores will still be being improved,
Right, you think,
like,
oh, it's a, it's a
excessively,
fad.
you'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah. There you go, here's the credits.
Well. Yeah, anyway, that's cool.
That's amazing. Alright. Let's go straight into Castlevania. I'm going to pass this one to Calistus. Do you have the dock open, I hope? And link it again.
It got linked
cool.
Stealthily. There you go.
Yeah, it just got me from the Skype.
Again. Sweet. So this is...
Okay, I can.
Oh, you can read it? Okay,
I can read
give
off
him
while-
we'll give him the next one.
Yeah, that's fine. So this is Aria of Sorrow for Game Boy Advance. Dragon Dark has a pair of runs here, both Julius mode runs. This is all bosses Julius on hard mode in 1416 and a normal mode in 1356. We're watching the highlight for the hard mode Julius run. He says, still some time left on the table, but this was one of the cleanest runs I've ever had on this. I'm looking to get sub 1710 in-game time. His comments for the normal mode run. He says, I think sub 1345 is possible with good luck and execution, but overall this was a decent run outside of a couple of specific areas.
Yeah.
Nice. This is always a...
But
I
it's
like
just from
the-
the hard run.
I like the
Right.
dive kicking.
Yeah.
The jumping dive kicks. It just seems to be a classic of any game where you're running through a castle. Okay, if you can dive kick and you're running through a castle, you can cancel it and jump off enemies immediately. I imagine that is the timing quite tight on that, do you know? Normally it is in games that have it.
That I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I'd imagine for chaining him it is.
Yeah. You just dive
I don't
kicking
think
an
I've ever
awful
known
lot.
of a
Julius in
game.
dive kick.
Uh-huh.
I said EMP put Julius in dive kick.
Not you.
Sorry, I don't think I've ever known of a game where the in-game time is longer than real time.
Oh no, it happens from time to time. Other M is the most famous culprit, where it counts as if you'd watched all the cutscenes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
right.
so the game time is like 2 hours longer than what you did.
I love this boss, by the way.
Yeah, the hands
Yeah, that's-
eye dude.
The giant mustachioed gentleman
Yeah.
behiand the cage.
You just bounce on his eye.
Ow!
Stop that.
Ow.
Quit it.
Alright, Calistus, you can have this Doom 64 one.
Alright, this is Doom 64 by Graviton. The goal, be gentle. I'm personally not sure what that means. In 35 minutes.
It
and
is
38
under the
seconds.
heading goal, so like he's correct.
He says, it's a solid improvement on my old time, mostly thanks to a slight increase in movement speed using a new strafe tech, along with a more efficient use of the powerful weapons. I lost 30 seconds in one map, but the rest was really solid. My final goal is probably going to be sub 35.
As I was saying, like literally 2 minutes ago, if you told me in 3 years Doom 64
Yeah.
Surprised, but cool. Graviton putting in work this week.
Interesting. He's like the successor to Peaches. You know, Peaches was the Blast Core guy and the Doom 64 guy over and over again for a long time, and Graviton just gradually took over that niche there.
Wow.
This is true.
I think Graviton will be going to work for Dota or something and be the Peaches rival. The full rival. Alright,
So many loud guns in Doom too. Speaking of things that need more DACA.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but go for it.
Never mind. It's Dragon Power on the NES, any percent in 1340.68 by DACA. And he says, after a year, I kindly cut that 14. Implemented a new strategy that makes the run less RNG dependent by manipulating item drops in the first level. In the first level, I force a specific amount of items to drop so that after the second boss, I get a normal wind wave and then the super wind wave in a hidden room. These are necessary to speed up the run later on, and specifically in level 6. I was lucky and got another super wind wave during level 3, bringing me to a total of 9, 3 per drop. This saved me 11 seconds on level 9, and the rest was saved due to a strong final level. I made a few mistakes in level 7 and 8, but overall was a fantastic run. At most, with current strategies, I can save 5 to 10 more seconds, but really to save more time, I'll have to find some amazing glitches. Expect to see that in the future. That's a good attitude to have.
Yeah. This is
I need to find some amazing glitches. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and do
This
that.
is the game where you play as the monkey with a bowl cut, right?
No, this is the top-down dragon shmup.
Actually, the music is from that
I couldn't.
because I got confused.
I couldn't have corrected you. I'm just listening to it. But it's
I hope this still has the ending thing.
Is it a monkey with a bowl cut, or has he got
Thank
like
you
a
very
sports
much.
band on?
What?
Has he got a sports band on his head, or is that just shiny hair?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably some sort of band. I think.
Why not?
Maybe.
I feel like I'm watching the same bit of the clip again and again and again. Alright, now he's punching different things. Okay, yeah, this is different.
Yep.
Got it. Alright, not sure what's going on, but
This looks awesome. Why do I love games that look like this? This just looks like a game I'd want to play.
No idea. But the ending cuts was fantastic the last time we had this on.
Yeah.
Something about burgers. And I like them very much.
I think he's
Those crabs.
He's done. Crabs. Alright,
Crab boost.
we're gonna go straight into Fatal Rewind, so I don't have to click anything. This is on the Genesis, is normal difficulty in 2230 by Sandbag X. That's an X. Cool, like, I was gonna do the X arm signal, but I realised you can't see me, so
Let's see you.
there's no point. It says, this little known game is a run and gun port of the Amiga version called The Killing Game Show. The run is a 2-minute 27-second improvement from my previous run, resulting from smarter and more aggressive ways of playing through enemies. Shortcuts in levels 4.1, 4.2, 5.1, 6.1 and 6.2, as well as more optimization and fewer mistakes. There is a sprite glitch in 5.1 which causes the barrier blocking the exit to disappear. Would have had say 20 plus seconds, but I didn't get it here. My best segments was level 3.2 and 6.1 and 6.2, which I assume is what you're watching now.
I think this is the first level.
This is... What are you playing as?
I'm not really sure what's going on with this game, what this creature is.
Is it like a dinosaur, a robot dinosaur that runs and its head moves up and down like a pigeon and it's got like gun arms?
Yeah, I think those are gun arms.
Yeah.
Side-scrolling robot dragon shmup. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Okay, this isn't the right highlight clip. What happened here?
Did you download the new ones?
I'm gonna get dead and right freaking now.
Okay.
Hang on.
Alright.
Wait, they're not here. I don't see them.
I made a subfolder.
Oh, did you? More highlights. Dang! I'm lucky I didn't miss any. I got... Oh, wait, that's the wrong folder. Uh-oh. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's all just going down the toilet now.
No, it's not. It's sorry, it's breaking up there, Feasel.
Can't hear you.
Quite hear
Going through
you.
a tunnel.
Yeah,
Can't hear
okay.
you.
Don't worry, I got it.
Alright, that's cool. I'll read this off anyway.
There you go.
So this is Final Fantasy 13 for the PC. It does say PC PAL, but
Yeah.
in full disclosure. All right, any percent run. Yeah, and 5:19:40, 5 hours 19 minutes 40 seconds by Maelstrom. You see, he says finally a sub 520. Feels good to break that barrier, although this run still has a lot of room for improvement. I'll keep going for at least a 5:15, maybe even further. Shoutouts to the community for being awesome. Also, we're holding an FF13 trilogy relay on May 9th. More details to come in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you
There we
should
go, FF13 trilogy.
be alright on that one because I'm going to be in it.
Yeah, you're doing the third one, right?
I'm doing, the third one. I can't wait to mess up on stream in front of everybody in a race where it matters how well I do.
Man, you're not used to stream pressure, are you?
Not normally, no. I actually watched that run live as well. It was, as he said, could be better, but he got it in the end. He didn't choke it away, like, not to sound mean, but normally, like, once he gets to Proud Claude or something, I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna die, because every one of them dies to Proud Claude again and again and again and again, but he didn't. He got through it and there was no problems and did the end game really smoothly, so it was nice. But there's still a few like mess ups near the start and stuff like that, but it was just like he got to a certain point and then finished without messing up, and that was, at least that was good to see. And he said this himself, so I'm not just being a dick. Alright, now let's not segue with what I was going to say. Yeah, you can take it. I was about to do a segue I really shouldn't have done, so let's go.
Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. This is on the Genesis, played on hard difficulty in 2327 by Sandbag X.
Yeah.
Says, this game is an awkward platformer and very difficult to optimize and get a good time.
Michael!
Although the route and some of the boss fights were based off the most recent tasks from October 2014, there were some ideas of my own that I discovered, the most notable being the Franker Z quick kill at the end of level 2. Props to quick kills on Franker Z. My best segments were level 2-2, 3-3, and 5-2. Level 3-2 and 5-2 are easy run killers.
I think that's what you're going to see here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The strat for the boss fight on 3-2 needs to be precise, otherwise the zombie split their body and attack, easily ending a run.
Yep.
A single mess up on 5-2 can mean a quick death. The laser defense grids do a ton of damage and I spend time to destroy them before the fight.
Huh.
The boss fight is supposed to be the most difficult in the game, but I can stun lock and eliminate the guards on the left side beyond the screen, which is what I did. The final fight makes no sense at all, but I think I finished it quickly enough. Further optimization will cut at least 1 minute from the time.
I have so many things that I could tell
Yeah, there's
you.
a lot going on right here.
This
Franker Z quick kill is
right.
one of the more original.
There's the monkey.
things.
There's the monkey. Okay, we've got a monkey.
This game, so
We've got a monkey.
when I was like 13, one of my good friends at secondary school, I didn't have like really have a Mega Drive or anything as a kid, but he was trying to tell me about this game and I just didn't believe him it was real. And he was like, do you ever play that Michael Jackson game? And I said, no, there's no Michael Jackson game. What are you talking about? And he said, no, the one where you throw your hat at people and you make zombies dance and you throw your hat and it explodes and the kids say Michael when you rescue them. And
Oh, that's actually the other Michael Jackson
yeah,
game. Like, Michael! That's the beat 'em up.
that's this
type
one as well. It's in both of them.
Well, yeah, I guess there's a little bit of that in this too.
He had
Yeah, they
the-
both have throwing hats and dancing
there's
zombies.
the
and stuff.
SMS one as well, which I had the pleasure of watching Adam blind race while I was really ill after drinking a lot. So I was sitting there like "Mrr," like that, you know, that sort of "Mrr," after a heavy day's, drinking, and
it up.
it was just like listening to that, and in the background of the SMS version there's like a 10-second MIDI loop of parts of a Michael Jackson song, and it's horrible, and the last boss is like ridiculously hard to kill. So I got to listen to that when I was not feeling well, and in the background you just hear did 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 and again and again and again and again until you hate the song even more than you did beforehand. But congratulations, Soundbad X. I haven't seen a run of this game since I feel like since Breakdown did it at a marathon, God knows how long ago.
Was Breakdown doing this Michael Jackson Moonwalker?
Pretty sure he
or
did
the other
the Genesis one, didn't he?
Oh, okay.
I think so. Anyway, let's give this one again before I make an inappropriate segue. Let's just give this straight up to Gilda Sneeze.
What? Who, me?
Yes, you.
Okay. All right.
Couldn't be.
So this is Midnight Resistance on the arcade, any percent in 1401.59 by the Mechanical Koopa. It says, so while shooting for my sub 16 run, I had not only got my sub 16, but I nailed the sub 15 as well. Nice, skipping an entire minute. I also almost got a sub 14, which I'll soon be attempting now that I know sub 14 is a definite possibility. Okay, skipping in almost 2 minutes. Excellent. I really wanted just to attempt new strats when this run took place. I did not have my live split running when the run happened, but I did a screen cap of the run and ran my live split because I was really happy with how the run turned out. Not only deathless, but almost sub 14. I still need confirmation on this being a world record for the arcade version, so now I'll keep grinding this until I'm satisfied with a decent sub 14 run.
Nice. All right.
Good stuff, Koopa.
Yeah, good job. In the very likely to have been obsoleted already run of the week is Ori and the Blind Forest. This is the PC any percent in 4619 by Ike Wolf. It's a very pretty game with lovely music, and it's being very heavily rooted. And as far as I know, the record has changed pretty much every single day because new stuff's being found. But
So I've seen Joka and Vuligin playing it recently as well.
yeah, and Grokken as well, and even more, lots of people. But it's Ori and the Blind Forest has become not scrolled far enough. Has become a highly popular speed game in a very short time. The times have gone down practically every day. Hey! Nice. New skips, tricks, and route optimizations constantly come out. Ike's latest record comes after finding an out-of-bounds skip inside Horu that saves a good 2 minutes. It only has 5 deaths and nails the most difficult skips really quickly, but it doesn't feature the hardest skip in the game, a frame-perfect jump similar to Iceless in the MMX, which saves 1 minute early on in the game. We were skeptical about sub 45 being possible, but now it's inevitably going to happen. Okay, apparently not been obsoleted yet. I was really convinced if anything was going to be that actually this is already obsoleted, it would be this one. This was like a 57-minute run like 2 weeks ago, and the game's very new, very new, but it's absolutely stunning to look at. So I would suggest watching some streams of it too. It's pretty entertaining. That's definitely for sure.
Is it like a Metroidvania style game?
I think it is. I think so.
Yeah.
So there's like a big world and you're exploring it and getting more powerful and accessing new areas, that kind of thing.
Correct.
Oh, cool.
I'm
Looks
too
neat.
cheap to buy it yet. It's still like £16.
Oh, you're going to wait till it goes down to the bargain
Yeah,
bin.
there'll be a Christmas sale, I'm sure, where it'll be like £5, and I'll be more than happy to buy it then. But it's good. We got it submitted for ESA, and you know, it's definitely possible that it will get in.
Oh, neat.
Nice. Hey,
Let's maybe make one of our guests read one of these.
yeah, I was about to.
you were about to, but I
let's
cut
give
you
it to. Let's give it this one to Bird of Prey. We'll give the next one to Calistus, and then I think we're good on the sharing for a sec there. There we go. Right.
All right.
That's all you get.
This is Silhouette Mirage Reprogrammed Hope on the PS1.
Did you guess that this
Any
might be a Japanese game with that title?
So that's a monster of a title.
It's any percent in 3903 by Chaos 42666. It says timing is from let's go to the final boss hit. There's still plenty of time to gain, but it's all about squeezing the game hard enough to get it to give it to me. That poor final boss, well, when will it give me the pattern it gave me in this run?
You change when you're facing left. You're a different character? Or do you just look different? No, you're a different character when you face a different direction.
Oh, that's wild.
I don't know if anything changes particularly, but that's pretty cool. Oh, there's Silhouette. That's from the title. Oh boy.
I was going to say, you did say, could you guess it was Japanese? Was not expecting a witch.
Really? Not with the name Silhouette Mirage?
No.
Oh, dude. She just blew that thing up as a robot.
Yep. And this last thing you're seeing is glitched out credits.
Yeah. Nice.
Getting stuck off the screen there.
Alright.
In the credits.
Okay, so I hope you're a chemistry major, Calistus. Because it might help you with trying to decipher this. So, here we go.
This is Sokobond on the PC, a 100% run by Iceplug in 19 minutes and 24 seconds. He says he saved a dozen seconds by navigating the menu faster.
Well, whatever it takes to save the time.
I'm actually wondering
if
if...
the game.
It looks like the periodic table there that
That is the periodic table, and these are meant to be elements. My chemistry's way too rusty to tell you if how many of these are actual possible
Molecules.
things. Yeah. Couldn't tell you. Not even going to pretend that I could. But this is pretty cool. What is this?
Yeah, it's very clever the
Yeah.
way this works.
I hope I don't have to know much about chemistry.
The routing on this must be insane.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's so many levels, and they're all just like immediately from one right into the next. It looks like there's almost no downtime, so this is probably got to be a very just physically challenging run to do.
Dude, I'm interested. I'm not going to lie. Ooh, nuts. I didn't stop in time. Sorry, I was wrapped
My
up.
question is, what happens if you make a mistake? Do you have to restart?
There's probably like a kill me and start over button.
I think there was
Like
an
a-
escape
usually they'll have
thing.
that
I think there was an escape there.
Yeah.
Alright, this is in the wrong order, so let's switch that round. Alright, here we
Way
go.
to break it.
Sure.
Alright, this is
Yeah, Super
I'm gonna
Mario
read
Sunshine.
this comment and then there's special sound for this one.
Oh, all right.
So we've got a Mario Sunshine 120 shines in 3:13:58 by average Trey. It says the run uses a very different level order for route from my previous record, which saves an estimated 17 seconds overall. Solid run in many aspects, but definitely had its fair share of mistakes and even a death early on. Going to continue pushing for sub 310 in the future. So inspired by the special stages which we normally see in this game, we have some special audio for you, which our guests don't
No,
get to
brother.
hear. So do boom doo 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 whoop doo bling doo bling woohoo doo bling wah. I already know what it is, so I'm just gonna sit here. You guys are just gonna have to be quiet. What?
I'll guess.
I don't think you will guess, honestly. Splash.
It's much better.
We're just gonna almost done.
I can't listen to that.
Yeah.
So I have to ask Flicky,
What?
did you do the
Wait.
Did you dub this?
Shine get. Yeah, I did.
It's some of the worst, best voice acting I've ever heard in my life. Woohoo!
All right, there you go. That was Mario Sunshine. Hey, Captain Falcon, let's give this one to you, Feasel. Go for
Okay,
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Captain Falcon. All right, so the Super Smash Brothers for the N64. This is Captain Falcon run in 3 minutes 13 seconds. I think that may be some of in-game time, the 3:13. Okay. DK28 is the guy doing it. He says, getting back to Smash Brothers, Captain Falcon is the next character I took on. This run is more intense as it's very execution heavy, whereas the NES needed more favorable RNG to happen. My original estimate was sub 330 thanks in part to a godly polygon fight. This run blew that estimate away. Looking forward to more action as I eventually plan to do a run with each character. And as you expect, there's plenty of Falcon Punch.
Dude, there better be one in this highlight.
There's a lot of kicking.
Oh, this could be it. Yes. All right, good.
There it is. All right, good.
We got it. I was hoping for it. All right. Interesting to go through every character. That'll be fun, but nice one. Good job, DK. Okay, now as an English person, I don't know what the hell this is or why people like it so much. So I'm going to pass this on to anybody else who's American, which I assume is all of you, unless one of you is secretly Canadian. And if you are and want to keep quiet about it, that's
But
fine.
it's the PC PAL edition, Flicky. How can
It
you not know
can't
what
be
the Oregon
PC
Trail is?
PAL. It can't be.
I know.
It's an American thing.
Keep it down. It's the Oregon Trail on PC PAL. Any percent banker version 1.0 in 651 by Skybills. Runs of this were going initially well until I let PJ drive the wagon. Then the runs were flat out challenging. This run was done using all the names from the TSSB crew, and everyone survived. What?
Wait, really?
I don't believe it for a minute.
I read the highlight and it says I broke my arm.
Well, You survived.
Duckus got dysentery, and I think Gilder did as well. They both got dysentery.
Nice.
What? Well, you should have seen what I ate. While the RNG is challenging, there's a way to manipulate it by playing as the banker and stocking up on an ungodly amount of supplies.
It just says Flicky has a broken arm. Did it just take a long time to notice? Like,
Yes. We just kind of glance over at you from time to time. It's like, oh, son of a bitch, ain't that a tragedy? And move on.
So,
the only way to fail at that point is to have the fairies break, which PJ only did once in a run, and it is excessively rare. The 651 is solid with only a few few text box interruptions. I'll eventually aim for sub 6 minutes when I gather more patience.
Okay, I don't know what was happening there, but it looked weird, so I'm just going to ignore it and move on. We got TRAG, T-R-A-G, Tactical Recon Action. Ah, no, I've forgotten it already. It's something like that. This K-Man DCJ, who else would it be? Running this PS1, I was going to say classic, but I'm not going to say game instead. It says 52-14, and he says, decided to do a random run after a while with no practice, of course. Accidentally got a frame perfect RNG dependent kill on a huge run killing boss. My splits are fascinating now. This game is pretty great though, honestly. You should play it just for the voice acting as well, which you're getting some of now.
This fight.
Yeah.
I just like that line. My splits are fascinating now.
Yeah. Dynamite. I recall
I
a
really hate
girl.
lopsided splits, or having that one split that you will never beat.
Yeah, I recall a girl in that game having a fantastic la 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 sing song, which is worth looking up on YouTube if you want. If you search TRAG bad voice acting, and you should get this song of this girl going la 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 and so on. Anyway, let's give this one to Bird of Prey because there's no good way of linking him and the name of the game. So I'm just giving up.
Isn't a Valkyrie something that flies?
It's a warrior woman from.
Your mind
Viking, right.
wander to.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Failed it. Okay.
Right.
So Valkyrie Chronicles 2 on the PSP. This is any percent normal in 4 hours, 4 minutes, and 27 seconds by Wandering Mind. It says a de-rust run with a lot of new strats and stuff that were found since the last time I set world record in this game. The run went really well until the very last mission. I'm most proud of the ridiculous tank shot I pulled off in the second to last mission, as it skips so much of that mission.
You shall see here. This was an interesting highlight to make. I was thinking of fading out the audio for the whole of this video, but I decided against it. But hey. This game is highly recommended, but I haven't actually. I don't miss. I do. He just says like I don't miss while he tosses like a grenade like a little bit in front of him. Yeah, this game is highly recommended to me, but I have not played Valkyria Chronicles 1 or 2 yet. It's interesting though. Right, here's the tank shot that he talked up as well, coming up in a sec. Here we go. Right, where okay. The bang bangs. There you go. I can appreciate the tank shot because it doesn't require any understanding of the game to know that it was cool. That's my perfect highlight. And oh wait, I can't give this one to Calistus because it's Fiesel knows about it, but I'll give him the last one, which I'm sure he'll be very happy about. Alright, Fiesel, we got 2 Wizards and Warriors runs here on either side. So
yes, indeed.
Yes. 2
Wizards and Warriors runs.
Yep.
Alright, well, we got Any Percent and All Stages runs by Dark Terex. The Any Percent time is 12:31. And that's what you're seeing there in the highlight video. It says, phew, not a category I was necessarily going for the record in, but I was very glad it happened nonetheless. 6-second improvement over Fiesel's run. I had a small bit of bad RNG, and the wall glitch in level 3 didn't work on the second loop through the game. Yeah, tell me about it. That definitely happens. Final level of the game, and just a BS trick that sometimes just doesn't work, and we don't know why yet. So there's definitely some time to be saved, although this run had a lot of hard-to-beat moments. For example, I don't get hit by the baby bats in either of the bat boss fights. That is pretty rare. I take time to collect a few extra gems in level 4 to avoid getting the last secret door, which saves some time. Level 5 is incredible. Instant door RNG, along with 3 invincibility potions. If you actually read this far on stream, Penelope is the best 8-bit damsel.
This audio, I dislike it.
Galadriel for life.
I thought I was annoyed by the bad grammar that thou hath discovered, but this audio is more annoying. Can't handle it.
Well, there's a second Wizards and Warriors run, all stages. This is basically the same thing.
Both?
No, I didn't have.
I thought you tried both of them.
There were Twitch highlights, so they take a long time to do.
Go for it.
Yeah. So the all stages run 21:54 is the time on that. So that's I think like a 9-second improvement over my run. He says record defended. This came down by quite a bit, and a lot of it will depend on the endgame RNG. The new routes that Fiesel and I created, or rather he routed and I helped refine, definitely save a good chunk of time. Level 4, for example, thanks goes to Bad Breaks for speculating this that this would be a time saver. We took out one hidden door in favor of a chest. I took it further and attempted to gather enough gems before the last chest to avoid going into the last secret door, same as in the NA% run. I want to bring this game down into the 20s at least, maybe sub 20, but I might be too sane to grind that. Penelope is still the best 8-bit damsel. And again, I'm going to have to disagree with him because I'm a Griselda guy myself.
I just had a thing for Dark Terex now that I know he's here. I'd like to know when he's going to speedrun Eminem's Shell Shocked, because it looked like he really enjoyed it in his mystery race, and that he should definitely do a run of it.
So that way he can run W and W and Eminem.
Dude, another reason right there. That's 2 reasons. Can't deny that. And If as well, I'm assuming because of your performance in Eminem Shell Shock that you haven't played Crash Bandicoot, and I think you should rectify that, Dark Terex. And now I'm hoping that it is you that did that race, because otherwise this doesn't work. Okay, good, it is. And finally, Calistus, take us home with this classic game. That's
the crown jewel of our world record section.
I wonder what's did.
Definitely.
I am honored.
Yeah.
This is Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon on the CDI, any percent by Author Blues in 34 minutes and 57 seconds. He says, believe it or not, this is actually a really great speed game. The platforming is challenging, inventory management is tricky, and you skip a bunch of items you would pick up in a casual playthrough, such as the lanterns that allow you to see invisible enemies or light up pitch black rooms, which means that you have to memorize the layout of several rooms to do all of the platforming in complete darkness. This improves upon a recent run of 36:28 by Grandesco, though the run can really come down to probably between 30 and 32 minutes, but not below 30.
Nice. There was a good highlight choice there, Fiesel, him falling down.
Yep, you like that?
I liked it a lot. I love it every time I see that in our highlights. Yeah, it's Wand of Gamelon. I mean, you're playing, this is Zelda, as you can see. That's what Zelda looks like.
It's weird. It's weird. I like the art style.
I like the art style too, yeah. It's a real weird one.
Because those are money.
Yeah, it's the CDI in a nutshell, this game. Like, if you ever... The CDI is
like a
just...
Russian animation studio. Well,
the CDI is really just like a mishmash of a console. It's very, very interesting, and I think this game sums up the CDI very well. So, there you go. Congratulations.
It just looks like the
Blues.
controls are terrible.
Oh, have you seen the controller for a CDI?
they are.
Right. No, I understand that it's...
Controls are abysmal.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's one of the challenges of it, but you can just tell by looking at it.
Yeah, the pride of Belgium. Congratulations, Author Blues, on your record. I'm going to press the split button, otherwise I'll get yelled at. Show you these again. And
Split flick, you got
that's a wrap up. A real wrapping up. Like, it's cold. How it's taken me that long to use that one? That's embarrassing. Anyway.
No, it's embarrassing, but not for the reason you think it is.
No, I think it is. I think you're just being polite.
No.
Thank you. So that was the record. If you want to submit records to the show, please do head to our website tssbreak.com and click the submit thing, and you get a form there, and you can submit all the stuff and give us a video, and we'll make highlights, and you put it on YouTube, and it's all sorts of great. we'd like to
Please upload them to YouTube.
thank our guests, Calistus and Bird of Prey. Do you guys have any messages for anybody in particular, or anything you'd like to advertise?
Well, I would just like to say a big shout out to the DustForce community. There's a lot of people, can't mention everybody by name. But specifically Jersey Milker for dustworth.com. Shout out to Hitbox team. They really, really listen to the community. They're great devs.
Oh, cool.
And if Bird has anything else.
Shout out to the DustForce IRC for probably being one of the most popular IRC channels on SRL.
Nice.
Yeah, Jersey Milker for dustworth.com. Really, really good site. Super useful. And yeah,
Nice. Cool. Thanks for being on the show.
thank you.
No problem.
Do we have any
I appreciate
announcements
it.
about upcoming stuff?
We have stuff.
Anything
Next
else?
weekend is going to be Kaizo with
Oh, yes, next
Dram
weekend on the
and
show. Yeah,
Carl
Kaizo.
Sagan. I will unfortunately not be around for it. So if you want to cancel it and move it back a week, don't mind. You can do that. No, they're not
well,
gonna.
I think with Dram and Carl Sagan here, I don't think anyone's going to be missing you, Flicky. I'm sorry.
Wow, you guys are gonna be thinking? Just be like, you know what? This show feels a bit less cultured. That's what you're gonna be thinking. You're gonna be thinking that, and you're not gonna be able to pinpoint quite why. But I'll know.
Wow, we have no way to segue between things. Something's missing.
This is a really janky episode. It's just stop, start, stop, start. But then I guess you'd be like American football, which is great. So I guess you wouldn't mind so much. Maybe that's it. Let's see. We got an SGL coming on
SGL,
Saturday.
Yep. Next Saturday. We got Bionic Commando this week.
Ooh, that's a good game.
Yeah, so that's going to be. I was kind of hesitant putting that one in the pool because it's a pretty tech-heavy game and it's a lot for new players to learn.
Hey, if I could learn parts of it,
Yes,
anybody can.
You can. So anybody can. Exactly. But yeah, so we've got Binary Dragon, Hag Spam, Insult, and JLo 7 doing that one. We also did SGL yesterday, and we were doing, it was Mega Man 6 and Kickmaster. Kickmaster's the main
yeah.
thing. And that was pretty awesome. It was John Carl's pretty much crushed everybody, but no, that's not true. It was John Carl's and Author Blues were pretty neck and neck for almost all of these. But that was cool. It was Author Blues' first time on the show as well. We had
Is it really?
the two of them, John Carl's and Author Blues, first time on the show, and they both did excellent. So
Fantastic.
that was fun. Kickmaster is a great game, by the way. If you're looking for a random NES platformer, play Kickmaster. It's really fun.
Okay, so aside from that, Wednesday-ish is going to be first round cuts of ESA out. And there'll be another 2 rounds of cuts. No, maybe 1, I can't remember. Anyway, point is, there'll be a round of cuts there Wednesday, so check out that. SGDQ's cuts are still ongoing.
I think they said the April 2nd, which is Thursday, is when the
deadline
it closes. The submissions close, and then I think they said by the 4th or something they were going to have the first round cuts done.
Okay.
I'm
cool.
sorry. Is that right? Yeah, by the 4th, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And then on Thursday, the best
Best
is
of
on
NES.
twitch.tv/best of NES. We're going to have the announcement of the games for the next Big 20 race.
The Big 20
NES games.
on that road to the 100 games race.
Yeah, I'm working up to 100 games.
Yeah. And
what else is happening?
I
If
don't
anybody in the chat knows of anything going on in the community that we did not mention, please chime in now.
what we do need to do for us is find someone to raid. So
Should raid someone playing DustForce. I think that would be
That would be good if there is anybody.
if there is someone.
Go have a look, Argo.
There is.
Cool. Write that in our Skype thing and we'll get that sorted. You can subscribe to us if you want. Gilda Sneeze loves it when you bug him about emotes, so just go bug him all the time. Go into his stream. Don't watch the stream so he doesn't get a viewer. Just be in his chat and say, yo, not watching the stream, just want you to know you need to make the emotes. Loves it.
Nope.
Really great, loves it. Tweet him too. Whatever you want. But yeah, you can subscribe to us. I mean,
You're going to be buying a cannon to shoot Flicky out of into the sun.
help us pay for our TSSB website domain, because that's where all the money instantly goes. But yeah, no, we love the support. If you wanna subscribe, go for it. We understand that you don't actually get anything right now, but we're working on it, so don't worry. Next week's Kaizo. I won't be here, but you'll be in the very capable hands of the Americans. Oh, that's a sentence that's probably never been said before.
We have names, you know, Flicky. Please.
I think that's it. That's probably all right. So we'll sort out that. I'm gonna get ads. That's it. That's the last thing. We're gonna play ads at the end of the show. So if you want to watch some ads, that'd be fantabulous. Right? Have you got someone to raid?
We do. Blue Dragon. He's actually doing what looks to be an SSL levels run.
Ooh.
Which would be awesome to have a new runner start up doing those.
So post that in the chat and we'll raid him with a raid message.
I like to pardon our dust. That's pretty good.
Pardon our dust? Go for it then.
Oh, you missed a spot. Sounds
Or you missed a
too.
spot's also good.
Okay. Do whatever you want. Copy what a mod writes and raid him with that message. I'll let the mods do it. I'm going to sit here and do nothing.
Alright.
Or rather, prepare for the end. Alright. Thanks. Go check that out. We're going to host them as well once our thing's done. We're going to play some ads if you want ads and so on. And we'll see you guys next week for Kaizo.
The Sunday Sequence Break.